So, the trailer for the new Sizzle season just dropped, and I'm excited, and I wanted to talk about it today, while also doing some Salmon Run. I'm not happy with that intro either. Oh well. I'm gonna skip out on talking the rotation today and best and worst weapons, just so I can get right into the season discussion. I'll try to cover everything that I saw in chronological order, if I can remember it all. Oh, mid-tide nighttime. Not great, but that's fine. Fog. I'm hard to talk about anything during this, but it's fine. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the new emotes, which they all seem really cool. I haven't found a single dud so far from like all the ones that I've seen. They all seem very cool. And along with the new emotes, there is the new song Skablam by Yoko and the Gold Bazookas, which sounds amazing. I love the song. I feel like it might be a little distracting with all the big brass instruments going, but it's fine. I'd rather have a song be distracting than be bad. And I mean, while I'm talking about it, I don't think I've ever really heard a bad Splatoon 3 song. Well, oh yeah, the new weapons is one egg, really. All right. So the new weapons, which are the paintbrush and the S-Blast 92. So the paintbrush is very good because, you know, as somebody that uses brushes myself, it means I have a new toy to play with, and you will not catch me complaining about that. That was close. It's a very long-range looking brush, and kind of looks like it combines aspects of the Octo and the ink brush, with probably lower damage output. But that makes sense, you know, because of its longer range. That's usually what you trade off by having longer range in Splatoon. And then there's the S-Blast 92, which it took me a while to figure out the S-Blast 92's gimmick. Is it gonna be nighttime again? No, it's not. Okay. But it has two different firing ranges, like the ballpoint and the flingza. And, oh, and the squeezer. Squeezer has that too. And that's all good, but a Discord that I'm in kind of spoiled from Splatoon to Japan's tweet that S-Blast 92 has Sprinkler and Reef Slider, which, if you know anything about competitive Splatoon, you know that that weapon kit is not very good, like, at all. Like, Sprinkler is a universally hated as a sub, because it's just bad at everything, pretty much. And the things that it isn't bad at is just, like, there's other things that can do it better than it can. Like, Sprinkler is good for painting, but you know what else is good for painting? Every lethal bomb. And even some non-lethal ones are better at painting than the Sprinkler. And then there's Reef Slider, which Reef Slider is widely regarded as the worst special in the game, and I'm inclined to agree. It is not very good. Like, I honestly think it's worse than Splashdown in some areas. In fact, no, I take that back. It is worse than Splashdown in some areas. Oh, gosh. There's not much I can do here to save this, yeah. And that basically means that with a kit like that, that the S-Blast 92 pretty much needs to be like a top, like a top 3 main weapon in order for it to see any competitive use. I don't know the paintbrushes kit yet, and so I can't really talk about that. But actually, why did I queue up with these guys again? Oh well. So, what else did I see in the trailer? Oh yeah, so I noticed in the trailer that they actually have, it looks like they have, new options in the photo mode. Which, thank goodness, because that used to not be very good. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, well I guess I'm gonna stay up here. Actually, no, over here is probably better. I really don't like when people don't agree on a spot to stay during during the Salmon Rush. Because that means that one of us has to bend on which way we're actually going to go, and since these guys don't seem to be bending, that's not great. Yeah, this is already bad. I couldn't booyah! Why? Why? Okay. Doesn't matter. Wait, they're still going after me. Okay. Oh my god. Get off me! Get off me! Please! Thank you! Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm dead. Yeah. I'm just gonna save my booyah. It's not worth it. It's honestly not worth it right now. Because I'm probably just gonna end up wasting it again. I already wasted one. I can't afford to waste another. Alright, you know what, I can stall down here. Oh, I gotta make it. Oh, there I go. Okay. I was talking about photo mode, right? Heal me. Please res me. Okay. I was alive for that long, and you decided not to res me? Sure. Alright, low tide. Nighttime. That's very good. Okay. Now I can actually talk about this. So yeah, photo mode in Splatoon 3 kind of stinks. It's really, really bad. Like, first of all, you need to pay $12 minimum to have actual, like, poses your character can do, which is already bad. And then it gets, like, and it gets worse when you can't even do those poses in multiplayer, so you can't, like, take photos with your friends. But now it looks like they're finally, like, fixing that, which is a very welcome addition because of just how limited it was at launch and how limited it has been for almost an entire year now. Oh yeah, something else that I didn't really, like, catch the first, like, 5 times I looked at the trailer is that I didn't catch it, but, like, the Inklings looked like they were doing this way callout, but they weren't holding any weapons. So that might imply that you might be able to do recon with friends without having weapons, which also sounds really good. And I guess I'll just talk about what I remember right now, since I can't really remember anything else right at the moment. Oh yeah, the returning stage that they're going to bring back for Sizzle season is they're going to bring back Humpback Pump Track, which, I mean, I used to like Humpback Pump Track back in Splatoon 2. I think it was one of the better maps that game had. But the biggest problem is because of Splatoon 2's more passive pace or passive playstyle that it was enabling and slower pace. People never actually, like, played on that map at the tail end of that game all they would do is just stand back and spam the specials that they could use at a distance. Which like, people are worried that's gonna happen in Splatoon 3, but I'm not worried about it at all, because, well, first of all, Splatoon 3's past a faster pace that enables more frontlining playstyles. Like, even on Mincemeat, I still enjoy playing on Mincemeat, even if it's like very bad for frontlining. And that's probably because of Splatoon 3's faster pace. Makes the map like very chaotic and a lot of fun to play on, in my opinion. What is next? And like, oh yeah, the specials, the passive global range specials in this game are like Tentamissiles and Stingray, which I'm not worried about Tentamissiles because, like, Tentamissiles is on 3 weapons and all of them are bad. Well, okay, not all of them are bad. There is one that is decent, and that's the Flingza. But even then, it's still not like fantastic by any means. Oh my god, these high egg quotas are kind of killing me here. I think we're more or less good as long as we get these eggs here. All right. And there's also the equivalent of the equivalent of Stingray in this game is Killer Whale 5.1, which Killer Whale 5.1, first of all, is not as easily spammable, and it can't really control as much space as like the Stingray used to. And Stingray was already replacing Killer Whale in Splatoon 1, so it's more or less fine. Plus, I don't think a lot of the weapons with Whale are really good anyways, and if they are, they're not like backliney, so they can't just sit back, grind for Killer Whale, and then spam it. So, overall, I think Humpback Pump Track is going to be fine. A fine addition to Splatoon 3's map list, and a very welcome one, considering that Splatoon 3's map list isn't looking the hottest right now. Oh yes, this is fitting. Let's talk about the new Salmon Run map, which is Jammin' Salmon Junction, which, from what I've seen, it's kind of looking like a more improved version of Salmon and Smokeyard, which, if you didn't watch my video, which was ranking all of the Splatoon 2 Salmon Run maps, the Salmon and Smokeyard was the worst map in the game because it was a map that was pretty much completely split in two and was very hard to navigate. And in Splatoon 2, since you didn't have egg throw, you couldn't actually throw eggs from one side to the other because of how big. And you had to use like propellers in order to actually get some, in order to get one eggs from one side to the other, because there weren't 2 baskets, there was only one. It was on one side of the map. It looks like they're kind of taking notes from that and improving on it a little bit, which I like. If they had to bring Salmon and Smokeyard back, or at least the general design, the general like idea or design of Salmon and Smokeyard, I think that was probably the best way to do it. Is to improve on what made that map so bad in the first place. Like, not make the easiest way to go from one side of the map to the other propellevators that are the slowest thing in the universe and could be really bad if teammates on the other side are getting completely overrun. What else can I talk about? Oh yes, challenges. So yeah, league battles are back, except not really, because they are challenges instead. Which, challenges are pretty, I'm not complaining about challenges, but it is kind of unfortunate that there's no real, like, there's not a super good competitive mode for people that want, you know, competitive practice. But I don't mind, because I think that challenges will be a lot of fun and another very welcome addition to the game. game, especially with some of the new ones that have been introduced. They all look like a lot of fun, except for Foggy Notion. Foggy Notion looks terrible because I already don't like playing fog. I already don't like playing fog shifts in Salmon Run, so I imagine it's going to be so much worse in multiplayer. There's two more things that I want to talk about, but I'm gonna hold off because, well, right now I don't really remember what they are. So I guess now would probably be a good time to talk about the rotation. So look at the weapons now: Clash Blaster, Sloshing Machine, Squeezer, and Gootuber. Not great, not terrible either. And then Gunfish and Hydro Plant, which is like. It's an okay map. There's some aspects about it that are good, some aspects about it that are not good. But overall, it's a fine map. It's better. It's at least better than Spawning Grounds. And then, what do I think is best and worst weapon in this rotation? So, okay, I think I got him. So, best weapon is the one that I'm using right now, Sloshing Machine. Slushing Machine is very good. It does a lot of damage. It has a very it's very ink efficient, and it has a really good fire rate. And it's also pretty mobile as well, which are all very good traits to have in Salmon Run. Jesus Christ, these fly fish, man, they will not leave me alone. I should use my special, honestly. And then worst weapon is, well, the one that I'm using right now, the Gootuber. Yeah, Gootuber is just Charger, just regular Splat Charger, but worse in literally every conceivable way. Less range, more charge time, higher damage output, sure, but it doesn't really matter when the charge time is much slower. It does have the charge hold, which I guess is sort of useful, but it's very niche, and like that's the reason why Gootuber is not very well used in multiplayer as it is. Just because like the one thing that Gootuber is really good at is something that is something that's not super practical. Oh, okay. That kind of stinks. Maybe that actually is suspicious. I think we're getting a lot of eggs here. I can't see! Okay, I did revive someone, thank goodness. That's good, because I'm getting hit by a Stingray and 2 missiles. Wow, that did not do as much damage as I thought it would. That's fine, as long as we live, we're good here. That was rough, but we managed to make it through. Oh, okay. Got a lot of golden eggs during that shift. Alright, so second to last thing I wanted to talk about was the yes, the new map, Barnacle and Dime, which you can see the kind of overhead layout of the stage at the very end of the trailer. which is why I left it to last. Like they did show it off a little bit in the beginning, but you don't really get a good view of the map until the very end of it. Which, honestly, I honestly think the map looks pretty alright. Definitely, it's probably with a. I could definitely see a timeline where Barnacle and Dime is probably the best new map that they have made for this game. Like the best Splatoon 3 map. That's like Splatoon 3 exclusive. I mean, I kind of ruined the delivery on that. That's fine. I've seen people on Twitter complain that it looks like another Tetris block, but like, I honestly don't understand the argument that it looks like a Tetris block, therefore it is bad. Because, like, first of all, the big thing about that is, like, one of the biggest things about that is the fact that, like, first of all, some of the best maps in Splatoon look like Tetris blocks. Like, do you guys remember the Reef? The Reef is a square, which is a Tetris block. Do you want to say that the Reef is bad because it looks like a Tetris block? Like, well, the Reef is one of the maps that I'm not really a huge fan of in this game. It's definitely not the worst by any means. It is regarded as one of the best maps in Splatoon. So, like, saying that it looks like a Tetris block doesn't really hold water when you compare every other map to what Tetris blocks they could be like. And second of all, like, if you look at the overhead map layout, it's like, it only vaguely resembles a Tetris piece as well, because if you look at it, it looks pretty wide open. Like, there's a lot of areas to traverse on the map. And in addition to, like, all of that, it looks like they're, like, while the mid does kind of converge a bit tightly, like, the rest of the map actually looks pretty good. There is this drop-off at spawn, which I'm not really a big fan of, but it's fine. I feel like that is one of the worst traits that a map could have. And then, one final thing is the new weapon kits, which, since I'm not going to remember all 9 of them off the top of my head, I'm not going to talk about them right now. But what I will say is that I saw another tweet on Twitter that was just like, that was just like, well, this really stinks. If you play any of these weapons, you're not getting new weapon kits for a whole. You had to wait a whole year to get new weapon kits because of how this game is designed. And like, I don't understand that argument either. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. You are joking. Yeah, that's why the GooTuber is the worst weapon in this rotation. Because that was terrible. And the worst part about that, too, is that apparently GooTuber has the best tap shot out of every charger in the game. So that's embarrassing. So as I was saying, there was someone who's mad that some weapons were just not getting new weapon kits because of how the update cycle of this game is working. But I don't understand that argument either, because the thing about it is that that's how Splatoon has always worked. Sometimes you would just have to wait an entire year for your weapon to get a new kit. That's just how it worked. That's how it works now, and that's how it's always worked. It's now having the steadily releasing weapons was probably a little bit better, but like it's still the same. It still has that same problem of some people just have to wait an entire year for their weapon to get a new kit. And that has just not changed. I remember that like Octobrush was one of the weapons that is not getting a new weapon kit, which it's just like, who cares? I mean, because like we're getting the paintbrush, right? It's not like we're starving. Whoa, that was close. Now, the weapons that are starving are pretty pretty unfortunate. Like, for example, like Dynamo and Reflux are two weapons that I feel like could really use a new kit. That haven't gotten them yet, and are not gonna get them for a while. Which is, you know, I mean, what else can I say other than unfortunate? But for the weapons that are getting new kits, once again, I'll get to them in a second because I don't remember them all off the top of my head, and I can't even really talk about the new kits anyways because I don't even know what most of them are. I mean, what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, apparently in Splatoon Japan's tweet, they also spoiled that Light Tetris would be getting Sprinkler, which is a weapon that it had in Splatoon, which is a weapon that it had in Splatoon 2. And I mean, I already talked about how bad Sprinkler is, so imagine how great that's going to be on the freaking Tetris, which is a weapon that I'm already not a huge fan of. But I mean, it's fine because I think it's whatever, honestly, because Tetris are already a really good main weapon. And like Splatoon's like meta is like Splatoon 3's meta is a statement or a testament to that. Because if Tetris was not a good main weapon, it would not be doing well in the competitive scene right now. Because like, you know, Dapples is apparently a terrible main weapon, and it has pretty much the exact same kit that Tetris has, and it's pretty much never used. Now, I understand that's because the Tetris are there, but it's also the fact that Dapples are just not very good, apparently. Oh my god, we are not getting this. Double Booyah was not what we needed. What we needed was more eggs. I'm starting to notice this pattern of whenever I get the GooTuber, we seem to fail the shift. Which, is not good. But this gives me a good time. This gives me a good opportunity to talk about the, gives me a good opportunity to talk about the, new weapons that I saw. Looks like I'll have to do another one. Give me a second to pull up the weapon list so I can actually talk about it. Okay, here it is. Found it. Yeah. Alright, so on this first screen we have Sorella Tensabrella, Custom Dualies, Light Tetris, Heavy Splatling Deco, H3D, and Rapid Pro Deco, which I'm really happy for all H3 enjoyers because they're getting a new kit which they definitely needed after the absolute dud that the regular H3 is. Custom dualies is also good because I don't really see custom dualies used that often in the current meta. Heavy Splatling is also another weapon I don't really see used in the meta that often, so that's also really good. Sorella Tent is something I'm really excited for because I really love the Tent Umbrella. Like I don't, it's not very obvious because I don't play it often at all, but that's because the Tent Umbrella is just not really a good weapon. But I've always been a fan of playing like support weapons or support characters in video games or support weapons. So Tent is really fun, but the problem is like Tent is just like so slow, and like even in addition to it being slow, it also just doesn't work properly, which really stinks. So yeah, I feel like, aside from like the Rapid Pro Deco, I feel like they picked like mostly really good weapons for like the first 6. That's like... Now, I might as well talk about the other 2 weapons that I do remember off the top of my head, which are the Anakin Nova and the Big Swig Express, which this I'm kind of upset about. Like, the weapons are bad, so they probably did kind of need new kits. But the problem is that these weapons are not even a year old and they're getting new kits, while some weapons that have been in the game since release still haven't gotten one, which is absolutely insane and baffling to me. And like the funniest thing is like the absolute worst, the pinnacle of bad of the 3 weapons that they released during chill season, the Snipe Rider is not getting a new kit, which is just even more crazy to me because of how much it really needs one. Like, I mean, there's already a fact that the main weapon is already nothing to write home about. It's basically just worse Bamboozler with more range. Which, having a charger that is just worse than another charger is not, but except for in one aspect, usually doesn't go well. Ask the GooTuber about that. But, oh, this is Mothership. It gets even worse when we... But it gets even worse when we're talking about the Bamboozler, which is a charger that was never really even that good to begin with. Like, I enjoy the Bamboozler a lot. I enjoy the Bamboozler quite a bit. But I never really got to use it in 2 because chargers in Splatoon 2 were absolutely god-awful. There was also, there was also one other weapon that was getting a new kit that I don't remember off the top of my head as well. But if you add it up, that's like, I think, like 11 weapons, including the S-Blast and the Paintbrush, which is very small. The smallest list that we're getting, I think the smallest list we're getting so far, not including the new weapons, because we're only getting like 9 new weapons, which definitely feels weird. So I'm assuming that that's not gonna be all of them, because like even the lowest one, which was, I'm pretty sure, right, it was the fresh season, we still got like 11 new weapons. We got 11 new weapon kits. Whereas in first season. Okay, look. I know I made a lot of verbal slip-ups in this video, but I needed to point this one out because even when I finished recording, I had this gut feeling in my mind that I referred to Sizzle Season as Fresh Season, and I thought it was at the very end of the video, but I didn't hear myself refer to it as Fresh Season, so I just completely dismissed it. So you have no idea how satisfied I feel that I finally caught myself red-handed and referring to Sizzle Season as Fresh Season. So I felt the need to point it out. Back to the video. We so far got confirmed 9, and in Chill Season we got like, I'm pretty sure 13. So yeah, it definitely feels weird. So, I mean, all we can do right for the time being, I thought I had neg. I don't actually have neg. Wow, that's really weird. All I can do is speculate right now, and for speculation, I'm honestly not sure what new weapons they could be added that haven't showed us yet. I mean, it could be like gold. It could be like gold dynamo, splash or slush machine Neo. The custom Hydra. I don't know if I said that yet. Custom Hydra. Heck, they could be adding a new kit for the Sniper Rider, which would be stupid because that means that all 3 of the new weapons are getting new weapon kits when they don't really deserve them. I can't do anything here! Thank you. There's so many eels, man. I hate it. I don't know if I ever mentioned how much I hate eels, but I absolutely hate eels. And actually, I might as well look up what the weapon is right now. It is the Wiper Deco. Which, yeah, it's the first Splatoon to get a new kit, and none of the stringers have gotten a new one yet. Actually, this is really good. I can't. Darn. Alright. That's fine. Nice. Yeah. People have been that's also something that people have been complaining about is how the new weapons that they introduced have not been getting new kits. But I mean, I'm personally fine with it since the weapons are still new. So it's not like we still. I mean, at least they aren't like returning weapons that are just not gonna get a new kit for like a year. If they are brand new, it does make it at least a little. It does make it at least a little more tolerable. But yeah, Wiper Deco. I'm excited to see the new kit for because Wiper is a Viper's had a pretty comfortable spot in the Splatoon meta once it got buffed to have actual painting power. And I feel like there's a lot of potential with the Viper Deco. There's so much they could do with it. They could give it Fizzy Bomb, they could give it Inkjet, Trizuka. There's so many cool possibilities. Well, all this to say that I'm really looking forward to the next season. It honestly looks like nothing but positive things. Seems I got a lot of gold for the shift. Still don't have enough for the headlamp helmet. And I'm not interested in any of the decorations or stickers, because I'm not gonna lie, after like the first couple of days of Splatoon 3's launch, I have not cared about the lockers pretty much at all. But I still do actively customize my splash tag from time to time, so having these would still be useful, especially since they are like easily viewable by people. That's also another reason I don't really use lockers, because you have to access the separate like sub menu, quote unquote, to really look at them. But yeah, overall, those are my thoughts on the new Fresh season. And I don't know how to end this video, so okay, bye. Okay, wait. Before I go, there's still two things I want to talk about, as there is some new information that I am privy to, and there's something else that I actually forgot to mention within the video itself. So, first, the thing that I forgot to mention, which we saw at the very end of the video, it was only for 2 seconds, but there's a fist bump, and like, this fist bump could mean like anything. It could mean that there's special interactions between emotes, there's special interactions when you queue up in like Anarchy Open with a teammate, there could be a special interaction if you like re-queue with somebody and you're on a winning streak. It could be like anything. And the second thing that I want to share, which is 100% confirmed, so that's the only reason I'm talking about this specifically. The Anarchy Nova is getting inkjet. How do I feel about that? I mean, it's alright, but I just don't think it really suits the Nova. But either way, those are the last two things that I wanted to mention. So, I'll leave it there. Until next time.